Welcome back. Tonight, we're exploring the dark side of something we use every day, Instagram. These stories are based on real events, submitted by viewers who found themselves in situations that spiraled out of control. Behind every profile and message is a real person, and sometimes their intentions are far from friendly. So, turn down the lights, silence your phone, and prepare for 3 disturbing true Instagram horror stories. The horror is about to begin. We delve into the shadows of the digital age with our first story, a chilling tale that blurs the line between the virtual and the real. It's a story that serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking behind seemingly harmless online interactions. This story comes from Chloe, a bright and ambitious college student whose public Instagram profile seemed utterly harmless, a collection of snapshots documenting her life, her friends, and her aspirations. Little did she know that this seemingly innocuous online presence would soon become a gateway for a terrifying ordeal, as the messages started trickling in, slowly but surely transforming her digital haven into a source of dread. It began innocently enough with a simple compliment from a blank account, a profile devoid of any personal information, a digital ghost lurking in the shadows. The account had no name, no picture, no followers, and no posts. It was a complete mystery. Initially, Chloe dismissed it as mere internet noise, an insignificant blip in the vast digital landscape. She ignored it, thinking it was just another random message from a stranger. But the messages kept coming, persistent and unwavering like a relentless tide. Each message was carefully crafted, each one more specific than the last, revealing an unsettling level of familiarity. They started with general observations but soon escalated to unnerving details about her clothes, the specific outfits she wore on certain days. The messages delved deeper, revealing an intimate knowledge of her daily routines, the coffee shop she frequented, the library she studied in, the route she took home from class. It was as if someone was constantly watching her, meticulously documenting her every move. The stalker even seemed to know about her private conversations, the things she discussed with her friends, the secrets she shared in confidence. This was no longer a casual admirer. This was someone who had infiltrated her life, someone who was lurking in the shadows, both online and off. A chilling wave of fear washed over Chloe as she slowly realized the horrifying truth. Someone was watching her, not just casually observing, but closely scrutinizing her every action, her every word, her every move. The feeling of being constantly observed became a suffocating weight, a constant source of anxiety and dread. Desperate to regain control and reclaim her privacy, she made her Instagram account private, hoping to shut out the prying eyes. She blocked the user, severing the digital connection, hoping to erase the stalker from her online world. But her efforts were futile. Soon, a new account appeared, identical to the first, a digital hydra, each head severed only to be replaced by another. The stalker was relentless, determined to maintain his connection to her, no matter the obstacles. The messages escalated, becoming more menacing, more direct, more terrifying. One message sent chills down her spine. "Did you really think blocking me would stop me, Chloe? I can still see you." The message was a clear indication that the stalker's reach extended beyond the digital realm, that he was watching her in the real world. The messages grew increasingly threatening, filled with veiled allusions and sinister undertones, transforming her phone into a source of constant fear and anxiety. Every notification sent a jolt of terror through her, every message a reminder of the ever-present danger. The stalker began referencing her locked door, a chilling reminder of her vulnerability, and warning her about the people she spoke to, attempting to isolate her from her support network, to control her every interaction. Desperate for help, Chloe and her roommate went to the campus police, hoping to find some solace and protection. They recounted the terrifying ordeal, the constant messages, the feeling of being watched, the escalating threats. But with no direct threat, no explicit act of violence, there was little they could do. The police acknowledged her concerns but explained that their hands were tied until the stalker took a more concrete action. Forced to take matters into her own hands, Chloe changed her routines, altering her routes to class, varying her study spots, trying to disrupt the stalker's ability to track her. She lived in constant fear, always looking over her shoulder, never knowing when or where the stalker might appear. But the stalker always seemed one step ahead, anticipating her moves, adapting to her changes, a relentless pursuer in a terrifying game of cat and mouse. One night, home alone, the fear reached its peak. Chloe received a chilling message, a message that confirmed her worst fears, a message that shattered her sense of security. "I know you're alone tonight. Sarah just left." The message was a clear indication that the stalker was not only watching her, but also monitoring her friends, her movements, her entire life. Then, a sound, a faint scratching at the door, a sound that sent shivers down her spine, a sound that signaled the imminent arrival of her tormentor. The lock clicked, the sound echoing in the silent apartment, a sound that marked the violation of her personal space, the intrusion of her safe haven. In a moment of sheer panic, Chloe called 911, her voice trembling as she pleaded for help, as the stalker tried to break in, his relentless pursuit reaching its terrifying climax. Even as he attempted to force his way in, the stalker continued to send messages, taunting her, manipulating her. "Let me in, Chloe. I just want to talk." His words were a chilling reminder of his twisted obsession. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she barricaded herself in her room, pushing furniture against the door, desperately trying to create a barrier between herself and the intruder. The intruder forced the door, splintering the wood, shattering her sense of security, the sound of the breaking door a deafening roar in the silent apartment. But just in time, sirens wailed outside, their piercing sound cutting through the night, a beacon of hope in the darkness, signaling the arrival of help. The man fled, disappearing into the night, leaving behind a trail of terror and shattered peace. Later, Chloe learned the horrifying truth. Her stalker was a janitor in her building, a seemingly innocuous figure who had been lurking in the shadows, observing her, planning his attack. He had been using his access to the building and her own Instagram posts to terrorize her, to manipulate her, to control her life. He was eventually caught, apprehended by the authorities, brought to justice for his heinous crimes. But the experience left Chloe forever changed, scarred by the trauma, haunted by the memory of the stalker's relentless pursuit. Her story serves as a chilling reminder that the digital world can bleed into real life in terrifying ways, that the seemingly harmless online interactions can have devastating consequences. Even the most ordinary online interactions can have chilling consequences, a stark warning about the importance of online safety and the potential dangers lurking in the shadows of the digital age. Our second story delves into the dark side of online fame, a chilling tale about wanderlust Maya. Maya was an Instagram influencer, celebrated and admired for her breathtaking solo adventures into the wild. She embodied the spirit of independence and exploration. Her Instagram feed was a vibrant tapestry of stunning landscapes, bathed in golden sunsets and shrouded in misty mornings. Each photo was carefully curated, accompanied by positive and uplifting captions that resonated with her ever-growing audience. She inspired thousands upon thousands to embrace the unknown, to step outside their comfort zones, and to explore the world on their own terms. Maya's message was simple: adventure awaits, and you are strong enough to find it. But then, without warning, her posts took a decidedly dark and unsettling turn, a shift that sent shivers down the spines of her devoted followers. The once optimistic captions became cryptic and unsettling, hinting at a growing unease and a sense of impending danger. Her words were veiled in a strange ambiguity, leaving her followers questioning her state of mind. The vibrant landscapes were replaced with gloomy, unsettling photos, images of desolate forests, decaying flowers, and shadows that seemed to writhe with a life of their own. The beauty was gone, replaced by a palpable sense of dread. And finally, a shaky, silent video surfaced on her Instagram story. It showed Maya, her face etched with terror, her eyes wide with fear, as if she were desperately trying to escape something unseen. After that unsettling glimpse into her apparent nightmare, complete silence descended upon her feed. No posts, no stories, no updates of any kind. Her followers, deeply worried and increasingly alarmed, banded together, forming an online group dedicated to unraveling the mystery of Maya's disappearance and to finding out what had happened to their beloved influencer. As they meticulously scrutinized her past posts, they began to notice something chilling, a shadowy, indistinct figure lurking in the background of several of Maya's photos. Always lurking just beyond the frame, always watching from a distance, always just out of focus, as if deliberately avoiding being seen clearly. Working together, the online group painstakingly pieced together her last known locations based on her posts, creating a map of her final journey and alerting the authorities to their growing concerns. Acting on the information provided by the group, police discovered Maya's abandoned car parked at a remote trailhead, the vehicle seemingly untouched. A search of the surrounding wilderness eventually led them to a remote campsite, where they found Maya's camera lying on the ground, seemingly discarded in haste. The final photos recovered from the camera painted a horrifying picture. Maya, trapped and utterly terrified, with a man's face lunging directly at the lens, his expression filled with malice. The stalker, whose obsession had spiraled out of control, was eventually identified and apprehended, but Maya's fate was tragically sealed. Her life brutally cut short by someone who had followed her from the seemingly safe confines of the digital world into the very real and dangerous one. Maya's story serves as a chilling reminder that the illusion of safety and security we often feel online can be shattered in an instant, with devastating consequences. Our final story delves into the chilling consequences of online curiosity. It follows 4 friends, Liam, Jess, Ben, and Sophie, a tight-knit group of urban explorers, each with a thirst for adventure and a penchant for documenting their exploits. They weren't just exploring abandoned places, they were building a brand, meticulously curating their experiences for their growing online following on Instagram. One fateful evening, while searching for new locations, they stumbled upon a trending hashtag, #echoes of the past. It was gaining traction within the urban exploration community, and alongside it, a mysterious symbol began to surface. The hashtag dared users to draw the symbol at locations rumored to be haunted, promising an amplified experience, a deeper connection to the paranormal. It was presented as a game, a challenge, a way to test the boundaries of the supernatural. Intrigued and eager to boost their online presence, they chose their next target, an abandoned sanatorium on the outskirts of town, a place steeped in local legends and whispered tales of past suffering. Under the cloak of darkness, armed with flashlights and a can of spray paint, they found a secluded wall and carefully drew the symbol, capturing the moment with their phones and promptly posting their photos with the hashtag. They added a witty caption, daring their followers to try it themselves, unaware of the forces they were about to unleash. The next day, the atmosphere shifted. An unsettling feeling permeated their lives. Strange things began, faint whispering voices echoing in empty rooms, unexplained scratches appearing on their skin, as if something unseen was reaching out, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures lurking in the periphery, manifesting as nightmarish silhouettes in their dreams. Sleep offered no escape, only a deeper descent into fear. The symbol, the one they had so carelessly drawn, began to appear everywhere, etched on mirrors in the condensation of their breath, traced in the dust on forgotten shelves, even flickering ominously on their phone screens. Panic set in. They desperately tried to undo what they had done, deleting the post, hoping to erase their involvement. But deleting the post didn't help. The haunting intensified, growing bolder, more menacing with each passing hour. Desperate for answers, they frantically researched the hashtag, delving into the darker corners of the internet, finding others who'd foolishly participated in the trend and suffered the same terrifying fate. They discovered a pattern, a shared experience of escalating paranormal activity. One particularly terrifying night, as they huddled together, seeking solace in each other's presence, all 4 received a notification simultaneously. A chilling photo of themselves sitting on the couch taken from outside the window, the lens capturing their fear-stricken faces. The photo was posted by an anonymous account, an empty profile save for the haunting symbol as its profile picture, a silent, malevolent observer. Just as they processed the image, a deafening loud bang echoed through the house, emanating from the window. It confirmed their deepest fear. The haunting was undeniably real, and it had followed them home, crossing the threshold from the digital world into their physical reality. A frantic call to the police yielded nothing. The officers found no evidence of forced entry, no sign of an intruder. But the friends knew better. Desperate, they sought help from paranormal investigators who, after a series of rituals and cleansing ceremonies, managed to quell the activity, though not entirely erase it. Shaken and forever changed, Liam submitted their story as a cautionary tale, a stark warning to others. Sometimes online trends can open doors you can't close, unleashing forces beyond your control. The digital world, with all its allure and connectivity, can invite more than just followers. It can invite darkness, and sometimes that darkness lingers long after you log off. The digital world is inseparable from our reality, and these stories are a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking behind the screen. Be cautious with what you share and who you trust online. The line between digital and physical is thin, and sometimes the consequences are terrifying. Protect your privacy, trust your instincts, and remember, if something feels wrong, it probably is. Thank you for joining me tonight. Stay safe both online and off. Sometimes the scariest things are just a scroll away.